One. What's happening, everyone? Hope you are doing well. Welcome back to another client interview. Today, I'm joined by another one of our wonderful clients called Binaya, who's been with us for a very long time, and he's achieved some significant growth in his business, not just from a revenue standpoint, but from a peace standpoint, in the sense that he's not losing his hair from running his business after scaling it to such a decent point after joining the program. So, Binaya, obviously, I know you very well from the group coaching calls and all that good stuff. But for the people watching the interview right now, why don't you introduce who you are, who you serve, and the transformation you deliver to your clients, man?
Awesome. So my name is Binay, and what I do is I help YouTubers and podcasters, basically, agency owners, coaches, consultants, and info product business owners to turn their social media and YouTube into a customer generating machine. So the way we do that is through a certain process that we use. And yeah, so the transformation that we help our customers gain is we help them to increase their content production by 3 to 10x and boost their sales process while saving their time and helping them focus on their most important tasks.
Yeah, love it, man. Binaya, well, some things just pop up in my mind where I've known you for about 14 months now, and I've kept calling you Binaya. Is it Binaya or Binaya? Because you didn't correct me.
So it's like it's both of those work, right?
Okay, cool.
The in the Nepali, I'm from Nepal, so in the Nepali language, it's called Binay, like Binaya, right? And then
Okay,
in the
cool.
English, it's called Binay. So both of them are fine.
Okay, sweet, cool. Yeah, to viewers watching this, I've literally known Binaya for quite a while in the program, so now I'm wondering, right, did I call it by the wrong
Yeah, that's
name
fine. That's
all
fine.
this
Yeah.
time? So yeah, little tangent there, but no, Binaya, fantastic stuff, man. Why don't you tell the people watching this right now where you were before with your business from a revenue standpoint, compared to where you are now?
Yeah. So before I started working with EasyGrow, I was at around $10,000 a month, and I kind of jokingly say this is like I'm the agency owner that's stuck at $10,000 a month for the past 3 years, right? Which is true. So it's like so like the me from 5 years ago would be like, wow, I would love to get stuck at 10K per month, and now I'm like, I want to get stuck at 100K per month. So that was where I was at when I joined, and right now it's a big breakthrough in terms of internally as well, and
Hmm.
something that is catching momentum is right now the last month we did 25K per month, right? And we're building up the momentum and going upwards from there, and yeah, so that's where I was at, and I was working a bit more into the business now. Literally, like I just have to work 10 hours a week on my business in order to maintain it. To grow it,
Yeah.
that's where I have to work extra.
Yeah, beautiful stuff, man. So, Benaya, let's walk all the way back to like 14 months ago. Obviously, you were making 10K a month, which is, like you said, it's a good spot to be in, but you don't want to be that business owner who's comfortable and you're stuck there for 3 years as you prescribed. What triggered you to join the program, bro? Or like, what specific problems were you facing, and what really, planted the seed in your mind to, right, I need to get into EasyGrow and take things to the next level?
Yeah, so I remember one, like this was before, like this was like 3 years ago. I was stuck at 2K per month, and then I joined a coaching program, and that program was the main shift that got me from 2K to 10K per month, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I'm always constantly watching videos. I watched, gone through Sam Evans Consulting Accelerator, like a few years back, and like I kind of missed Sam Evans, if that makes sense, like
Yeah.
his YouTube videos. And like Charlie, after watching his videos, I'm like, Sam Evans is back in a new form, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like the things that he talks about, there's such, like that's exactly the kind of things that, that's exactly the kind of person that I want to learn from. So I was just watching a lot of Charlie's YouTube videos, and then I ended up, taking the call to action and booking a call, and that's how I ended up joining the program.
Nice, man. So before, when you were watching like the YouTube content and whatnot, were there any problems you were facing in your business that you didn't know how to fix yourself? Like that really drove you to make the decision to join?
Yeah, I would say mainly around client acquisition is,
Sweet.
I've I've always like kind of been good at sales, I would say, but at the same time, client acquisition is something that I've never really been able to, get a lot of momentum on top of. I've fired a lot of setters, done a lot of things, but it's always been inconsistent, right? So just to get that client acquisition problem taken care of, right? That's the main reason that I wanted to join the program.
Yeah, perfect, man. Before joining the program, what did your client acquisition setup look like? Like, how were you getting clients?
So it was very haphazard. I would say, it was a combination of referrals
Hmm.
and email outreach, right? I was doing email outreach, but I was doing something that was outdated and that, wasn't really working. And, that was one of the main reasons.
Yeah, perfect. What specifically were you doing? Was it just email blasts or like what was happening before?
Yeah. So, Charlie talks about quality, right? Like quantity
Yeah,
plus
yeah,
quality. I was leaning too much towards the quality where each email would take me around 45 minutes to 1 hour to write. It was
yeah.
hyper quality, but at the same time, I couldn't get enough volume in the door, right? So, after going through the program, I tried Terminator Looms. I went into, tried I created like and this is in combination with talking to William Selway. I created a specific kind of customized email outreach system for me,
Nice.
which I would call like email sorcery, right? Which is something that
Yeah.
right now it's, you know, like Will has that right now. That is like part of the training is like loomless emails, right? So, and I kind of created that, and that's how I slowly transitioned into so that like the way I saw it is like I could do this. I could do almost like 80% of the quality in the emails that I was doing, but do it at such a massive scale with automation.
Yeah, 100%, man. And I love what you said there, where I think people tend to get caught up in the trap of quality, but sometimes you spend too much time on quality, like you did there, and you're not getting results you truly deserve. So that's why it's important to find the balance.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. Cool, man. So yeah, that's good to know. And then one thing that you obviously know, Binaya, with us, we're like heavy on metrics, data, and all that good stuff. So when you were doing email outreach before joining the program, like, did you have like a structure in place, or was it just send whatever and hope for the best?
Oh yeah, it was like send whatever and hope for the best. I would say that's one of the major things that I've learned from joining the program. I would say is track your metrics, and that is
Mhm.
still something that I'm gaining and learning every single day. But it's such an important thing to track the metrics. Like I have a list of questions that I ask myself every day as a way of being self accountable as well,
Nice.
and those would be very hard to do if it wasn't numeric, right? And like the metrics is also the same thing. Just like I have a dashboard that has all the major things within the business, and week by week I keep on updating that. So that's one of the things that I'm trying. I think we talked about that as well. That is something that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I kind of took and created my own system so that just from one glance I can have check the health of the business. But
Yeah.
metrics is such an underrated thing, man. Like, and I know Charlie and Easy, everyone in EasyGrow is so heavy on metrics. I was like, why is that the case? But now I completely understand
Yeah.
because, and one of the major things that I see, which is like almost we take it for granted, is that if you open, let's say, your bank account, the only thing you see is metrics, right? Like if you were just seeing money
Yeah.
coming in and going out but you didn't see the dashboard, you would be confused, right? And then if we open YouTube and don't see the number of subscribers, like all of those are metrics, right? And we just take it for granted. But creating such a metrics for our own business, like for my own business, it has been a game changer, I would say.
Yeah, love it, man. Staying on the topic of metrics, because obviously that's a big thing. Talk to me about how it feels now you're in control of these different metrics across your business compared to how it felt when you didn't have any metrics. Because I've spoken to a couple of business owners where they've just bootstrapped their way to 10, 20, 30K a month, but they don't know what's going on. And sometimes the business owners are doing 30 to 50K a month, but they don't know their metrics. They're actually in a worse off spot than those that are at 10K a month that do know their metrics, because the 30 to 50K a month agency owner, they can fall apart any second. Whereas the 10K a month agency owner, because they know their metrics, they can easily gradually scale up. So I want to speak to you about the emotional side of things. How does it feel like having control of things compared to not having control of things before?
Oh yeah, it's a massive thing. Like before, I used to be very, I would say, reliant on the team members, right? Because at any point it could fall apart or this or that, right?
Yeah.
But now there's like it's like having a pulse on things and knowing, you know, knowing if I'm thinking like, oh, everything's going to shit. If I look at the metrics, I know things are going normal, right? And if
Yeah.
I think, oh, some days I may watch one video from Charlie and I may think I know everything about business, and then I look at my numbers and there's still a lot that I need to work on, right? So it's like a reality check is what metrics does for me, and it keeps me grounded. And it's like, and the thing about metrics is not just what is there right now, but how it has evolved, right? So right now, just I would say 3 months, 2 months ago, I was at 8 clients. Right now, I'm at 13 clients, going to 15 clients in the next few days, right? So
Nice.
just looking at that, like I may think, oh, like entrepreneurship is such a high and low thing. Like I may think, oh, I don't know anything, things are not progressing, but I just look at my metrics and I see 3 weeks ago, I was at 9 clients. Now I'm at 13 clients. Things are progressing, right? So it's like, it's very easy to know, like it's finally like having a grasp on things, and at the same time it's keeping my team members accountable as well. It's
Yeah.
just as a way of saying, your goal is just to make sure that this number is achieved, then
Mm,
everything else, like they can take care of. Like that's a huge goal for me as well.
yeah.
So it's a lot of clarity and
Yeah.
stability.
two two things there, Binaya. A great way to like summarize this topic is number one, you go from operating from a place of emotion to a place of logic. Because now
Yeah.
it's like if there's a problem, you as the founder is not going, oh my God, like what's happening? Oh my God, I'm upset. It's like you as a founder, you look at your dashboard that you have and you go, oh, that's down. That means I need to do this, then do that. And then we can wait for 2 days, see what happens. There's a big difference between the two individuals that I just described there. One's operating from emotion, doesn't know what direction to go, and whatever the direction they pick, it's from emotion. The other is operating from a place of metrics, numbers, and calm, cool, and being calm, cool, and collected, essentially.
Yeah, I would say, like, to anyone who's watching this who doesn't have their metrics in place, it's, I used to be that guy, right? I'm like, why do I have to, track all of these metrics,
Yeah.
so many Google Sheets, all of these things, right? And like, yes, you can get to a certain point doing that. And, it's all like, I would say, like, initially, like, if you have 2 clients, like, tracking metrics seems like a hassle, right?
Yeah.
But, if you're at like, 10 clients, 20 clients, 30 clients, it is, and beyond, like, EasyGrow has like 1,000 clients. Like, the
Mm.
metrics is the only way. And if you learn to love metrics and start to make decisions based on metrics, that's gonna be like, you can scale 10 times higher with 10 times less stress. And I'm not even exaggerating that.
Yeah, and that's something we can touch on in this interview as well, because Binay is a perfect example of that, and he can share some examples of how he's actually done that. So, and then the second part, Binay, was like you alluded to there, predictability. If you need like 20 clients, you know what the workload is going to be, you know what the metrics have to look like, and beyond yourself, your team members, right? When you're shifting from a one-man army to now having a team underneath you, these metrics really help. Where it's like, if I worked on your team, you can go to me, oh no, we need you to do this, this, that. These are the numbers. This is what you need to do. If I'm off those numbers, you simply look at the dashboard and say, hey, no, numbers are off. This is what you need to do. And the powerful part is because there's metrics in place and things associated with it, you don't need to micromanage. You can let your
Hmm.
team members lead because they know what they need to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. And one of the major things is it helps you, like, you feel the pain of the metrics not hitting the target. That's something really important. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I do that every day. Like I have my assistant, I have my assistant ask me daily, you know, are we at 30 clients yet? And then I say no,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
And then how many clients do we have? We have 13. And then she asks me, why do we have only 13? And I have to answer that. See how painful that is? And
Yeah.
then, you know, like, because there
It's
is an
good.
end goal, right? Like that's the reason the accountability structure works. If I didn't know how many clients we have, if I didn't know how many we want to get to, right, like there would be no structure in place, right? So
Yeah.
that's one of the major ways that I'm using metrics as a way of accountability.
That's a great share, Binaya, where it's like you get your assistant to ask you daily because it kind of comes back to that feedback loop where if you're journaling, right, you reflect on, oh, what went wrong, what went well, and that's powerful, but it's even better if someone asks you directly, first thing in the
Yeah,
morning, where we at? What happened
yeah,
yesterday? Why? Why such a
yeah.
big, like, impactful question and it's very confrontational, but you as a founder, it's very like you would know this better than anyone because your business has grown from it as a result. Like, it's great. It gets you thinking, it gets you aggressive in terms of what the next steps are, as opposed to being passive.
Yeah, and also it's like, the most important thing is booking meetings and closing sales, right? And then I may, start developing a dashboard or, start learning something else during the day. But just having that question is like a forcing function. Like, am I doing the most important thing? Or like, am I focusing on the signal or am I focusing on noise, right? So
Yeah,
in that way, it's like very instrumental in terms of, just getting to focus on the most important thing.
yeah, great stuff, man. Absolutely love it. Circling back to the appointment side of things, obviously you were using like a email strategy that you kind of tailored to your situation, which is fantastic. How many appointments are you able to book right now compared to before joining the program?
So appointments are, I would say before joining the program, I wasn't like it was very inconsistent. I was getting like 5 appointments a month, I would say, right? Like around that range, right? Right now, the last month, I think we did around 10 to 12 appointments, not that high, right? But at
Hmm.
the same time, um, a major thing that I think has shifted is just, focusing on high quality appointments, right? So
Yeah, yeah,
we have like a really elaborate kind of sales process. So I know
yeah.
this is like Charlie recommends, just, get anyone on the call, make sure you don't like you don't have a long friction,
Yeah.
uh but I kind of have like a friction in the
Hmm.
process, so we only get high quality appointments. And yeah, like it has been like that. But again, the thing that I think really works on that is, I think the sales process has also improved, right? And out
Nice.
of the 12 appointments, we signed 3 to 4 appointments. So
Ah, beautiful.
yeah, and the the thing that, like, I think this is a major thing is like I would probably be at 100K per month if I implemented this 1 year ago, is follow-ups. Like,
Mm,
the money is all in the follow-ups. Like
yeah.
the last month I signed 3 clients. I would have lost all 3 clients a year ago, even if they said, yes, I'm
Hmm.
interested, because I would have stopped following up, right? And, I'm very rigorous. Like I have my setter. She's very rigorous in follow-up, and I'm very rigorous in the follow-ups as well. And, I would say it's not like we're booking a crazy amount of appointments, but we're, slowly and, in a stable way, gaining more clients and scaling in that direction.
Yeah. Killing it, man. I think we've had situations where like even in our sales team, right? Like especially recently, we've had follow-ups closed from like last year and the reps
Mm,
have been on them. And these are
yeah.
deals which could easily slip through the cracks if
Mm,
you don't pay attention to your pipeline properly. And that's great to hear on your end, Binaya, especially in situations and markets where the sales cycle may naturally be a lot more nuanced, longer as well. Um, because those leads, as you said, if you didn't have your follow-up game and your nurturing on point, they could have just disappeared.
yeah. Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Killer stuff, man. Sweet. So in terms of when you first joined the program, Binaya, I know you went to set up your outreach systems and all that good stuff. In terms of your offer, did you change anything there, or did it like remain the same before joining?
Yeah, I think it has changed slightly, and that's a really important thing as well. Because before joining the program, I was kind of like, yeah, we do video editing and YouTube management and social media management. Like that was like my offer, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
um it's good in a way, but and this is something slightly different from kind of what EasyGo teaches, is like I've changed my offer slightly. And I think we had a call on this in the operations call as well,
Yeah.
is I changed the offer in a way that it's more oriented towards sales, right? So right now it's more like we will help you get more sales on your info product by using social media to help get those sales, right? That's like the kind of the offer that I'm
Hmm.
currently doing. At the same time, it's not like guarantees or like all of those things that makes me want to worry, right? And one of the things is we have clients who stay with us for more than 2 years at this point, so we have very high retention. And I would say the major reason that we have very high retention is because we close them on very low expectations, right? Like
Mm.
you know you we don't fire people who kind of are integrated within the system, right? So if we're trying to offer crazy transformations, then that's gonna really affect the retention, right? Like it's gonna make the sales process easy, but it will affect the retention. But what I've learned from from the call with you as well on the operations is have a really good offer. That's like having a really good offer is not about having a crazy guarantee. It's about
Yes.
showing them like how this can make them more money, or like leaning more towards the value side. And then on the call I can explain to them, this is what the offer is supposed to give you, and we will do our best to do the inputs, but we cannot guarantee the outputs,
Ex
right? So
exactly that.
that's how it has changed.
Yeah, great stuff, man. And yeah, I think that's super important because especially after like 100 million offers, which is an incredible book that Hormozi launched, right? I think everyone got caught up with, okay, we got to do like crazy promises, crazy guarantees and whatnot. But if you can't fulfill on those promises and you're not in control of the outcomes, especially with a service like yours, Binaya, it will do more harm than good. But that doesn't mean we can't make your offer a lot more attractive because we can still position it a certain way where we can, within our messaging, like you alluded to there, we can mention what the possible outcome is. And then on the call, you can explain how it's not 100% guaranteed because, again, you're not in control of the sales process and these different things. But this is what it can result in. And it's funny because I had that exact same conversation on Monday, right? It's Wednesday today on my coaching call where clients were concerned that, oh my God, we got to promise some crazy number we're not even attracted to. But similar advice I gave to you like months ago. It's like, actually, no, we just need to position you differently and we need to craft the message around the possibility of what can be achieved. And then your existing authority and experience in the market as well do the selling. So it's kind of like with you, Benaya, when you joined the program, you already had some case studies under the belt. And I think you remember when I told you that, let's leverage that as opposed to,
Yeah.
trying to focus on the promise and guarantee because you'll find that clients care more about you and what your background is compared to some shiny promise.
Yeah, I agree. And like a good analogy to look at it is like, let's say someone was like a fashion consultant, right? They could have an offer which is like, I will help you dress like a millionaire, but they cannot guarantee that you'll become a millionaire, right? Like
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
ours is like, we will implement the systems on your social media that seven-figure businesses have. But that's not going to guarantee that you reach to seven figures. There's a lot of variables in that, right?
Yeah,
But we'll implement the seven-figure content system within your business. That's the offer difference, I would say. But at the
yeah.
same time, people are buying their future self, right? So they will buy this offer because they want to become that person.
Yeah, exactly that. Well said, man. Well said. One thing I want to touch on, man, you've gone through the program, and one thing I like about what you've mentioned is you've not copy and pasted everything we teach word for word, which is fantastic. You've taken what you needed and you've adapted it to your situation. So, for example, you've taken the metrics, you've picked what's relevant for you, and you've used the custom dashboard. You've gotten the outbound strategies, and you've worked with Sellway to come up with something tailored to you. And then even the appointment setting side, Benaya, I know you said that, we like to say, get anyone on the call if your pipeline is dry, because, that's what, we basically practice what we preach, right? Um, but with you, you're like, actually, I got a more longer sales cycle. I need higher quality leads for my pro service and whatnot. It's amazing how you're thinking for yourself. And that's what we teach in acquisition Genesis. So how helpful was that module in terms of putting you in the position where you are now, in terms of being able to look at things, get advice from myself and the program, but shifting that advice to best suit you and not just what we teach, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, so acquisition genesis is like, I think it should be taught. Actually, like it shouldn't be taught in school because we would have a lot of competitors. But like it's one of
That's
the
true.
like I would say and I love those kind of modules where it's like it's more to do with intellectual and less to do with, exactly this is the buttons you need to click today, right? Like more to do with the strategy and, frameworks and things like that. So acquisition genesis is incredible. And, there's so many things that I've learned from that. And I've actually broken down my whole business into the different subsystems that I need to work on, right? So I've actually made a plan of, there are 10 systems and 6 different type of team members that I need to hire for the business to grow without me, right? So that's what I'm working on right now.
Yeah, love
Yeah,
it.
and that's
Absolutely
all
love it, man.
because of the acquisition genesis, like all the subsystems, and making sure all of them are functioning properly.
Yeah, perfect. Because it's very easy for us to just, give you strategies that you can copy and paste, but like you can attest to this, Binaya, it's a massive difference when you know the how and why behind it. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this strategy? Why am I saying the sales script this way? Why do I have to create these systems in this way? And then you go from someone that's being a follower to someone that has complete power over the systems that we teach.
Yeah, yeah, so
Yeah.
so true. Because like not just like I would say acquisition genesis is one part. The thing that I find is equally, if not more valuable, is just this one module in self transcendence, which is the alchemy of
Yep.
self
Nice.
worksheet. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
just doing that worksheet every day. Like, because I have reference of this, like, going from 2K to 10K per month was also a shift that happened when I was doing some form of like a similar worksheet every day during, in that specific program. And then right now, like, just doing this worksheet every day is, changing the beliefs that I have, and that's changing the results. Like, this is something that I want to, clarify is like, it's not, your business, anyone that's watching this, the point that you want to get to, or like any kind of growth in the business, it's not gonna happen because of change of strategy. It's gonna
Mm-hmm.
happen, like, the strategy is like more outreach, better quality outreach, better sales call, like all of those things. Like everybody,
Yeah.
like, if they've signed one client, they know the exact strategy to sign 100 clients, right? But the change is going to happen through beliefs. And there are so many things that we tend to shoot ourselves in the foot because we don't believe that is possible, right? So
Yeah.
just the, the higher up, my revenue grows, the more I see, like, why has the revenue grown? It's because my beliefs have changed, right? So, and why have the beliefs changed? Because I'm doing this alchemy of self worksheet every single day.
Yeah.
So that's like very important for me.
Love it, man. You've just introduced the mindset section of this interview. Perfect. So yeah, now that we're here, actually, because I know, as you alluded to there, like the mindset shift that you have has been major in the results that you've achieved. Talk to me about how the version one of you looks, Benaya, the one that joined the program 14 months ago, compared to the version that I'm speaking to right now. What specific shifts did you have to make in order to succeed? And did you have any sort of limiting beliefs in place? Whereas, like, sorry about that. Did you have any sort of limiting beliefs in place where you had to break throughout your tenure to achieve the success you've had? Just talk to me about the shift you had to make, man.
Yeah. So when I was joining, one of the main things is, um, I wasn't running the business systematically, is one of the main things that I would say. Is like it was just being run haphazardly. I would just get on calls now and then with team members to guide them, and,
Mm-hmm.
like throwing stuff on the wall to see if I get clients this way or that way. But the major thing, that, like the best way that I can describe this is, um, when I was joining the program, the version one of me was a doer, right? That person was
Mm,
doing within the business, right? Like, working in the business, on the business, but at the same time, like, what can I do? What can I do? What can I
yeah.
do? That was the main focus, right? Because I was already at 10K per month, right? So now the major change is I'm not the doer, I'm the designer, right? Like, I design the systems, I
Nice.
design the trainings, right? So the major shift is going from doer to designer, I would say. That's the major thing. And,
Yeah.
Charlie, I would say, is a designer, right? Like, he's the one designs the machines, and then, teaches other people to run it, right? So uh, I would say, like, the major shift is going from doer to designer. And the more I step into this role, like, I know that, I'm gonna go higher into the revenue.
Yeah, great stuff, man. And that's a perfect way of putting it. I think especially if you're at that for your when you're going from zero to like around 30K a month, which you're close to, you're busy stuck in the weeds where you're doing, but actually get to the next part is about going from what do you call it, being a doer to then a designer, and then
Yeah.
then even a recruiter in a way, where you're now
Oh yeah.
essentially you're actually doing this right now, Binaya, where not only are you designing the systems, but now you're recruiting the correct people to be in those, to basically build the systems and run it for you. And that's a really powerful shift, man.
Yeah, I agree. Like, the designer, to design the thing and then let someone else run it is the main thing, right? And it's very, it's a wrong thing to hire someone and then let them figure it out. It's very important that you design design the vehicle before having them on and letting them run it, and then still having KPIs in place so that you track how they're doing, running those things. And that's part of loving the systems, the numbers and KPI is part of being the designer, right? Before I used to hate those stuff, right? Like it's like, how many Google Sheets do I need, right? And then now it's like, everything needs to be connected and tracked.
Yeah, perfect. Beautiful stuff, man. That's amazing. Um, with regards to the program, obviously you you know more than, or just like all the other clients in there, we got a ton of videos in there, but we also have group support and the coaching calls. How valuable have you found them to assist you in your success? Because videos alone are great, but how helpful has the calls been, the group support and all that good stuff, man?
Yeah, I would say the value is like the coaching, the course are like it's very massive, and it's a lot
Yeah.
of information, valuable information. I've probably gone through like 30% of the course, even till
Yeah.
now. But the coaching calls, like I would say 80% of the value of the program is from the coaching calls, right? And that's
Nice.
one of the reasons where even after our 1 year period has ended, I'm like,
Yeah,
continuing
yeah.
on a monthly, retainer, right? And like, the reason is because it's like, the coaching calls are so valuable that I like, just to give you one instance, um I had like it was a client that I had a call with, and there's a sales audits call. So I went on the sales audit calls, and I think it was Jack who gave me
Yeah,
a
yeah.
few pointers on,
Shout out to
this is
Jack.
what you do, this is what you say, right? Shout out to Jack. And then, he gave me a few pointers on like, this is how you handle the objection. And then on the next sales call, I ended up closing like I think it was like a $2,700
Mm,
retainer, but that client has paid around, I would say close to like $30,000 still now, right? So just that
nice.
and I know for a fact that without that objection handling framework, I would have lost that client because I wouldn't have, known how to handle the objection. I would have just been like, yeah, think about it and get back to
Yeah.
me, right? So yeah, and that's just one
Yeah.
example.
That's my
So
sales strategy, man. When I was a rep, if someone said they wanted to figure, I say, yeah, don't worry about it, because
yeah.
that's why I'm in the role I am in today, much better suited to operations. But no, in all seriousness, Binay, that's a fantastic example. Like because you've got like sales modules there, but it's a massive difference, right? Where you can come to a coaching call and specifically role play or drill like your situation, and you've just seen the result of doing that.
Yeah, and it's like, part of getting the answer is part of it, right? The answer, we can like ask Chat GPT and it will give like a simplistic version of the answer or whatever, right? Like,
Hmm.
but I don't think it's mainly even about just the knowledge that you gain from joining the coaching calls. It's like being around similar entrepreneurs, having a community, just like, you know, even like, subconsciously having someone to relate to, right? That's very important because, you know, like, if I ask William Selway one question in one call, I know that, next week I want to be like, hey, I went ahead and implemented that. Here's the results.
Yeah,
What should I do next? Right. And that alone is like a huge motivator to, just improve. Like, it's like having a support team, which is very important, like
exactly.
not just knowledge wise, but like, if I may use the word energetically or like,
Yeah, yeah,
mindset
yeah,
wise as well.
100%.
Right. It's
Yeah.
very important.
And it's like we take the time and effort to remember everyone, you know. So that's why, you know, when you join my calls, it's not like I'm treating your new question as, oh, Binaya is a new client. It's like, oh, Binaya, last week we spoke about this, remember? So, like, you know, is this what you've done? And then it's a nice catch up. And like you just said there, it really helps your growth. Whether you're doing outbound calls, you're joining, you know, my offer calls, for example, the sales coaching calls, all that good stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Killer stuff, man. Absolutely love it. So yeah, with regards to your business, man, let's talk about that because before the call, you know, you mentioned something really good where obviously an increase in revenue is fantastic, but just the emotional side of things where you don't have to work as much. I really would really love to touch on that so that the viewers can understand where you're coming from. Before we do though, man, let's paint a picture for them. Talk to me about your team, Benaya. Team members, how many clients you have, and then what your operations look like, and then you can let them know, you know, how many hours you're working, what you got to do in that you know, 15-day pilgrimage, I think you said, because that was really nice to hear, man. So yeah, talk to us.
Sure. So right now at this point, we have 13 clients. We have 18 team members, but again, all of them are not full time, right? And we're still maintaining 50% plus profit margins. So we have 13 clients and we have 18 team members. Many of them part time, and they're managing the work. I would say operationally, so it's me. I have my executive assistant who is more like a chief of staff at this point, right?
Yeah,
Like she
nice.
not just like it's not like she just I just tell her what to do and she does it. She's like making decisions. I'm strategizing with her, so it's like a huge, she's almost like a business partner at this point. And we have our client success manager. I have my appointment setter, and after the client success manager we have all the clients and all the delivery team, right? So that's how it's structured right now. And yeah, like I would say right now I'm operationally it's very light. Like I'm working around 10 hours a week at this point in the agency. And I've always been working around 10-15 hours a week. Like I've kind of structured the business in such a way. I would say I can get the business to 80% profit margin by just working a lot and fulfilling some of those roles myself. But I don't want to do that. I want to work
Yeah.
10 hours a week, and I would rather have 50% profit than 80% profit by just from that difference of work. And yeah, like because of that freedom, I've been able to, like, for the last 2 months I've been going through different spiritually significant places in India. And right now I'm in Dubai, so I went to Kashi. I went to Uttarakhand, which is there's different places in India. I went to the Isha Yoga Center, and different places. And the last year I've been able to so I took 15 days off from my business, like completely detached, no internet. I went to Kailash, which is in China. It's one of the most spiritually significant places in the world, and I went on a 15-day pilgrimage. And when I came back to the business, everything was running smoothly. I'm like,
Perfect.
yeah. So that's one of the things where, the freedom that I've been able to gain is, just having a business that works for me rather than me working for it is one of the, I think that's one of the things that I value a lot as well. And, that's also a reason that I'm not pushing too hard into, like, we need to grow as quickly as possible. I'm just, and the remaining time I just spend researching, reading books, just meditating. Right now I meditate around 2 to 3 hours a day. So just all of those things, right? So it's like, even at this, like, I'm not waiting for the business to hit a certain goal before it starts fueling my lifestyle. I'm
Mm.
just designing my
Mm.
lifestyle and designing the business that fuels it. So it's like taking it side by side.
Yeah, beautiful stuff, man. So basically, you've grown your business, and your work hours have decreased way more than it already was. And on top of that, the business maintains itself without you having to be in it if you choose not to be.
Yeah, so the only thing that I need to focus on the business right now is not the delivery, it's just the hiring and client acquisition, right? So,
Yeah, beautiful.
I only have to take sales calls, or I only have to do hiring interviews. Those are the only two things that I have to get involved in for the most part, for 90% of the time. And for anyone who's watching this who's like overwhelmed and like just has a lot of things to do within the business, um what I did is I asked one question, which is what one decision can I make so that I don't have to make the next 100 decisions, right? And
Mm,
the thing that I came up with is hire an executive assistant. So most of the days it's just like me having one call with my executive assistant, and then if there's something that she doesn't know how to deal with, I just guide her. And then that's like most of the days my days are like just one call a day, right?
yeah.
So yeah, like that's one powerful question that could help someone as well.
Beautiful stuff, man. Truly life by design, which is great because, you're not waiting for business to get to a certain point, then you can live your life. You're just growing hand in hand, basically, which is fantastic, man. So, yeah, super happy for you in that regard. Binaya, what would you say is the next goal for you, man? So, we're obviously at 25K a month. I know, I think you said 100K a month is the next step. What's the timeline on that? Talk to me. You've been with us for about 14 months now. How long till we're at 100? No pressure.
Mhm. I would say, uh, 6 months into 2026, right? That is a good
Nice.
time to
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
And I'm more confident on the fact that I can get there with less chaos because and this is something we talked about, Nora, as well, is you know I'm making a few shifts into the business in terms of doing done for you to moving into doing
Yeah, yeah.
the coaching plus course module. And I think that is something that I'm the more I look into it, actually I just I'm in the process of having one deal where it's a client that I'm charging and getting into the coaching service, right? So the more I look into the coaching side, the more interesting it is looking, it is. And I think like having around a 6K coaching offer and just selling 20 clients a month on that is the way to 100K per month,
Yeah.
rather than the crazy chaos of agency life. So that is, I'm making a shift into that. And then I would say, you know around 10 months from now, I will put the goal of being at around 100K per month.
Yeah, there we go, man. And you know what the funny thing is about what you said about there, man? If you did want to keep the agency model and you want the course model to just go hand in hand with that, there's a way to make it work where the course model would basically it'd be priced at like 6K or something, but then your done for you service it will actually be higher. And then
Mm.
it's like an ascension setup, which is what our masterminds clients Chris and Amrit done. And I done an interview with Amrit, but
I
we
watched that actually.
yeah, yeah. Today's a coaching call, so straight after the interview, if you want to join that, I can run you through that. So to viewers
Yeah.
watching, this is the benefit of the coaching call. So Amrit, not Amrit, Binaya can literally join after this, and we can dig deeper into that. But no, absolutely love that, Binaya, and I'm going to keep that note on my calendar. Hopefully you'll still have time for me for a part two, man. So yeah, that's going to be fun. Binaya, 14 months ago, you would have had your sales call. Do you remember who your sales call was with, man?
Vince.
Vince, perfect. You would have had your sales call with Vince. Vince would have asked you what your goals are, and more importantly, how do you feel achieving them, and what your life would look like achieving them. Fast forward 14 months later, you're obviously in a very good spot where you're working way less, you're not losing your hair, you're able to do all these, great things in the realm of spirituality and whatnot, and the internal side of things. And on top of that, revenue's going up. So my simple
Yeah.
question to you, man, how does it feel?
I think it feels amazing, man. Like, because if I remember, my goals when I talked to Vince was I didn't say like I want to buy a Lamborghini or whatever. Like those are not my goals. Funnily, like I'm in Dubai right now, but those are not my goals. But
Slowly heading to that direction.
yeah, I would say what I probably said to him is like I want to be at a point where the business is running smoothly. I'm making more money per month than I'm spending per year, right? That's really important for me because that's, that gives a level of freedom. And
Mm,
then, I'm just like thinking, planning, reading, listening to amazing, recordings, visualizing and meditating all day. Like that's the goal that I, really want. And right now I have the freedom to do that. Like I can
beautiful.
just literally meditate 10 hours a day, right? And I actually enjoy doing that. So I would say it feels amazing because only if I want to grow the business, I have to get involved. If I want to maintain the business, I don't have to get involved. So I have that freedom right now, and it's like it feels like freedom, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, man. And I'm so happy for you. And again, to people watching this, one thing I do want you to take away from this is again, Benaya's designing his business to suit his lifestyle. So he, like you said there, Benaya, he loves meditating, loves to do a lot of internal work. So if he wants to, he can go on gear five and probably scale to 100K a lot quicker, right? But it's not going to suit his lifestyle. He's doing it at his own pace, and that just goes to show the power of having a predictable system in place and systems that actually work where you can actually grow at your own pace and what's suited to you. So great stuff, Ben. I really appreciate that insight there. As we wrap up the interview, man, there'll typically be two groups of people that are watching this, right? The first of which are current EasyGrow clients, and the second of which are, oh, I think I lost you there. I got you back, bro. Did you hear me? Sweet.
Yeah.
As I was saying, but I two groups of people that typically watch this. The first of which are current clients, the second of which are people that have yet to join the program. To people that are currently in EasyGrow, what would you say would be your best pieces of advice, man, in terms of achieving success? Because you've been with us for 14 months now, so you would have obviously learned a lot. What would you say to them?
So the main thing, I would just ask like a list of questions. I would say the first thing is, have you gone through acquisition genesis? I know
Yeah.
that it's repeated like 1,000 times throughout the course, but it's really important that if someone, if you want to get to where you want to get to, first go through acquisition genesis. Then are you doing the alchemy of self worksheet every day? Actually, like, this is the only question I would ask, is like, are you doing the self alchemy of self worksheet every day,
Hmm.
and are you joining the coaching calls every day? If you're doing these two things, there is no way that you cannot grow, because you're changing your beliefs and you're getting accountability.
Yeah, it's so true, man. And it's funny you say that because on the coaching calls, we'll tell you if you're on the right track or not, and it will just course correct. So yeah, love it. And to people that have yet to join the program, kind of like you, like if you're speaking to yourself 14 months ago, um, and maybe for people that, they've come across an ad and they want to do some further due diligence, and maybe they've had a sales call, but they want to think about it and all that good stuff. What would you say to the people that have yet to join, man?
Yeah, so what I would say to the people who have not joined the program and are considering joining the program is, um, if you believe in your ability to take action, then this is the best program there is. If you believe in your ability to take action, right? Because if you follow the things that are mentioned in the program, there is literally zero chance that you will fail, but you have to follow those things mentioned in the program, right? That's the most important thing, right? Like, it's designed in such a scientific manner that, whoever you are, if you follow the steps, you will succeed. But at the same time, if you don't believe in your ability to execute, then, like, no one no one can help you on that. But if you like if you're someone who can execute, and you need the right guidance and the right information in order to execute, and you want to be part of the right community, this is the best community out there, right? So that's the thing I would say.
Yeah, there we go. What a sales pitch. What a sales pitch. There we go. Love it, man. No, 100%. Benaya, where can people find you, man, if they want to keep up with the biz, your content, all that good stuff?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram. My Instagram is millionaire.yogi, right? And you can find me on YouTube as well. I think the YouTube, I'll share the link with you or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all good, man. I've got your Instagram now. I'll put that in the thing. And then YouTube, I'll put in the description. So, yeah, man, everyone fine. You can check out the description if you want to keep up with Binaya below. But yeah, hopefully you guys found this interview valuable. Like I said, I'm going to mark this as part one. And hopefully, again, Binaya still has time for me in a year's time when he's at 100K a month and whatnot. So yeah, hopefully you guys found this valuable. I'm going to do my famous outro now, and I already hear people clicking it away. If you are someone that has come across this wonderful online world of ours and you've seen these ads about, you know, getting a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, the Rolexes, the floral shirts, the sunglasses, the Versace bathrobes, the tan, the beaches, the sunshine, and open up your laptop at the beach and typing for 10 minutes and boom, you've got 20K in the bank, and you think this is something where we can help you join and help you become a millionaire or make six figures in 1 week. I'm here to tell you, unfortunately, we cannot help you do that. This program is not a get rich quick scheme. If you do find a get rich quick scheme, and I think this is like the 50th time I've said this at the end of these interviews, if you do find a get rich quick scheme, send it my way. My full name is Noor Mia. You can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. If you do find one, send it my way and I'll happily purchase it as well. Now, if you are someone that that isn't going to fall for a get rich quick scheme and you are willing to put in the necessary work and follow a proven framework, just like Binaya has, and actually put in the time and effort to not just go through the modules, but make an identity shift and actually join coaching calls, ask questions, get feedback, and take action. And again, follow a proven roadmap to succeed. Then we can probably help out. So then it's worth booking a call. If, however, like I said, you want to get rich quick scheme and whatnot, please don't bother booking a call because it's just going to be a waste of your time. But if you are the other group where you're willing to follow a proven roadmap, definitely book a call. For those of you that are thinking about it and you're still on the fence, that's perfectly fine. This is the 106 interview that we've done. I can't say six, so I'm gonna stop. But 100, we've done 106 interviews. There's 105 other interviews for you guys to check out across different verticals, markets. So if you need some further, proof, conviction, on whatever it may be, feel free to check those out. And in a lot of those interviews, we share like the full names. We always share the full names and whatnot, so you can actually reach out to them and see if they're paid actors and whatnot. So yeah, hopefully you guys found this one valuable. I will catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys. Bye.